Okay. Hi, good morning. Here I am. Sorry. So the word of the week for Shree is friendship, the word we're thinking about and exploring and talking about. And I was thinking about the sweet little poem by Rumi that says, "The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along." And I do feel that way about my beloved, but I also feel that way about my friends, the close friends that I've had in my life, that the universe has, brought them into my life, and that our hearts were connected, before we had even met each other, and that the universe somehow conspired to bring us together. I think that friendship is a really profound, I think in some ways it's our most profound relationship, because you're born into the family that you're born into, and sometimes that works out great and sometimes not so great, as we know. But friendship is that relationship of choice. It's the people that you choose to love and the people that choose to love you. And there's something that's, to me, so affirming in that. I think sometimes there can be really strong family relationships that are the same, but sometimes with family, there's like a little sense of, obligation, right? And I feel like with friendship relationships, there isn't that. I mean, there is, because you want it to be there and you want to be responsible to that person and be there for that person, but it's from this sense of love. And hopefully we have those relationships in our families too. Some of us do. But I think that friendship, again, is that most powerful of relationships. And I think that yoga exemplifies friendship. Like our yoga practice itself is this practice of friendship. It's a practice of befriending our bodies, right? What does that look like? How do you want to be in relationship with your body? And that's what, when we come to the mat, that's what we're doing. How are we in relationship with our bodies? And then deeper than that, how are we in relationship? How are we befriending our own hearts? How are we befriending our spirit? And on the highest level, I think that yoga is, we know that the universe, that in a way, this energy of the universe brings us into being. We choose to come into being to be in that relationship with the universe. And so that relationship on the highest level, our yoga, is about cultivating that relationship and that friendship with the highest part of ourselves and something even bigger than ourselves. Like ultimately, that's the relationship. And the word yoga means to yoke. So just in the way that our friends and those friendship relationships, those close friendships that we have, are relationships of choice. It's like what we are choosing to yoke ourselves to. The universe chose to yoke herself to us, to come into being as each and every one of us. And that's why we're here. That's a part of our story. And our practice is really about being in that relationship with ourselves, with our hearts, and then also with that highest part. But I'm leaving it open. I'm leaving it unmuted for a moment, because we did this in the last class also. What are the gifts that you have received from friendship? What has been offered to you in your strongest friendships that you really value? Anyone want to chime in? Love. Yeah.
Understanding and commonality.
Yes.
Compassion.
Inspiration.
Support.
Yeah. Michael, you had something to say?
Yeah, unconditional acceptance.
Yes.
Good one.
Yes.
Hard.
I think for me, acceptance is such a big part of it, because it's saying, like, I don't have to be here in this relationship with you. We're not tied together by those family, obligations and ties. I'm here because I love you and accept you unconditionally, right? And that's really powerful. I think it's one of the most powerful, I think in a lot of ways, it is the most powerful relationship that we can have, our friendships. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute now just so we're not hearing other sounds going on. And then we'll get going with some yoga. Okay, so take a good seat, sit up nice and tall. Lengthen your spine. Close your eyes if they're not closed already. And begin the practice of befriending yourself. Friendship is ultimately a relationship of giving and receiving. And there's an ebb and a flow to that, but the strongest relationships have those two things in balance. And so, how are you experiencing those two, that flow this morning for yourself of giving and receiving? Maybe it's that you need to receive a little more. And so if that's the case, deepen your inhale. Make your inhale longer than the exhale. And if it's that you have more to give today, that your heart is really full, then make your exhale longer and offer back to the universe. Ultimately, that giving and receiving and that flow comes from the highest. When we tune to our breath, when we attune to that flow of receiving and offering, we're attuning to the universe giving and receiving from us. So we do it on this very human level, but it's also on this highest level. Receive each breath as a gift of life from the source of life. Offer your breath back out. Lengthen the inhale to receive more. Lengthen the exhale to offer more. Or maybe bring those two into balance. If you're feeling very centered, right where you should be this morning. Take 2 more deep, full rounds of breath. And then bring your hands together at your heart center. And let's begin by chanting 3 ohms. If you'd like to join, take in a deep breath. Gently bow your head down to your heart. As you're ready, release your hands, open your eyes. Okay, we're gonna start standing today. So come on up to stand. I have a new fancy monitor here, which hopefully will let me see you guys better. I'm gonna bring that over with me. I'm gonna come to the mat. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start with just some standing warm up. So face the long edge of your mat, so you've got a little room side to side. And then take your feet hip distance apart, or a little wider than hip distance apart actually. And then bend your knees, take your hands onto your thighs. And let's just do a little standing cat and cow here. So inhale and arch your back, lift your chest, lift your head. Exhale, drop your tailbone, drop your head, round your back. Inhale and arch, and exhale and round. Follow the breath. And follow that breath that you started your practice with this morning. So again, if you need that longer inhale to receive more, or the longer exhale, just keep going with that pace. Do 1 more round. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. Okay, good. Then drop your fingertips to the floor, and if the floor is too far, you can just bring blocks underneath your hand. You can do this on blocks, and we're gonna just continue cat and cow, just lower here. So inhale, arch, maybe bend your knees a little deeper, and exhale, and round, and straighten your legs a little bit, not straightening fully. Inhale, bend, chest lifts, heart lifts, exhale, and move towards straight, doesn't have to straighten all the way. One more, inhale, and exhale. Good. Then heel toe the feet a little bit wider and find a forward bend. So fold it a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Turn your toes out again just a little bit, and then walk to the right and bend the right knee. Nothing crazy deep, just getting a little movement. Inhale through center. Exhale, walk to the left, bend the left knee. Good. Inhale, center. Just go back and forth a few times. Nothing dramatic, just getting some movement into the hips and the knees. Good. Meet at center, widen the heels. One more time. Now we're going to go to twist. So plant your right hand between your feet. Inhale, lift the left arm and look up. Exhale, take the left hand down. Inhale, lift the right arm. Good, and then just back and forth a couple more times. And that hand on the floor, of course, can always be on a block. Yeah, that works too. Exhale to switch. Inhale, lift opposite arm. Okay, good. And then one more time, pressing the fingertips down, lift the shoulder blades to the back, but release your head and fold over. Inhale and lengthen your spine. Heel toe the feet in a little bit, turn the toes out again. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a deeper knee bend. So more towards a squat, sitting your hips low, lifting your chest. That's it. And then exhale and straighten. Inhale, bend. Again, hands can be on blocks. You can come up, have hands on the legs. This works too. If it works, have hands on the floor, hands on the floor. Bending and straightening back and forth with your breath. Inhale to bend and exhale to straighten. Last one. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Press down really strongly to your feet. Hands to your hips and come on all the way up. Good. Turn your toes out slightly and bend your knees. Again, don't go down into like your deepest squat. Let's stay in a little bit higher position just so we're for warm-ups. And then we're going to go to this side-to-side action. So elbow, forearm onto the leg, opposite arm reaching up and over, and then through center, and forearm onto the leg. Both knees stay bent. Yeah, and then extending the other arm. Yeah, so keep the hips a little bit low, the knees bent, and just go side to side. One more time, reaching, lengthening the side body. We stretch the front and the back of the spine. Now this stretches the sides of the spine. Good, finish with that second side. Okay, good, and then come to center, straighten your legs. Okay, bring the feet a little closer together, hip distance apart now. And then we're gonna go into this stretch. So right foot steps behind, crosses behind the left, right heel down, left knee bent. Then left hand drops back towards the right leg, right arm reaches up and leans. So you're getting a big stretch and opening onto the right side of the body. And you can just look down towards your right foot behind you. Inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, lean a little bit more to the left. Inhale, come up. Uncross. Good. Second side. Left leg crosses behind. If you can get the whole sole of your foot on the floor, that's ideal just for balance. The left knee, front knee, is that your left knee? No, it's your right knee, is a little bit bent. And then your right hand is dropping back towards your left leg. Your left arm is reaching up. Good. Lean over to the right. Yeah, you got it. Reach, lean over a little bit more. Extend with the inhale. Big opening into the left side body. Okay, good. Inhale, come up and uncross. Okay, now feet a little bit wider. Again, back towards this squat position. So toes out, high squat, hands to the inner knees. You want your knees right over your ankles, so knees not passing the ankle. Breathe in here. As you exhale, right shoulder to the left knee, or towards the left knee. But press your right knee to the right. Then look up over the left shoulder. Inhale, come to center. And second side, left shoulder to right knee. Press your left knee wide, look up to the right. And then just back and forth a couple more times. Inhale to center, exhale, opposite shoulder towards opposite knee. Inhale, center, exhale. One more each side. Good. Come to center, straighten your legs, and bring your feet together. Okay, good. Now, feet hip distance apart. And let's find Tadasana. So press evenly down through the base of the big toe, the inner heel, the base of your pinky toe, your outer heel. And then draw energy up the legs. So if you need more receiving today, this is a gesture of receptivity as you draw into your pelvis. So up through the legs. If you have more to give to yourself. This is also an offering to yourself as you draw in. So draw into the pelvis. Then move the sit bones back, drop your tailbone. Take your hands and interlace them on the top of your head. Good. Now, knit the front ribs together. Keep the lower body really steady. So there's this giving and receiving in the body as well. So the lower body gives a little bit more in the standing poses, so the upper body can receive. So make that lower body really strong. Now, pull the elbows, the shoulder blades onto the back. Pull the elbows back a little bit. And draw the shoulders away from the ears. Keep that action in your shoulders. Press your palms away and stretch your arms straight. Yeah, so the shoulders are moving down away from the ears. Palms towards the ceiling, fingers interlaced. And then extend. Whatever it is that you receive, that gift of life from the universe or from a friend that you're feeling today, send that out. Expand your pose bigger, brighter, fuller. Exhale, lean to the left. Keep the shoulders back, shoulder blades drawing down the back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, release your hands, roll out the shoulders. Do big circles back. Good. And then reverse it, go the other way. So big circles forward. Okay, let's face now the short side of the mat. I'm going to give you the side view. It actually doesn't matter if you can stay facing either way. We're going to work on Utkatasana a little bit. Take your hands onto your hips and firm the muscles of your legs. Like if your best friend could be there and hug you right now, how would she hug you or he hug you? Make your legs hug like that. Then sit your hips back. Keep that hugging action of the legs. And as you sit your hips back, spin your inner thighs back and wide away from each other. Then drop your tailbone, tone your low belly. Sit a little deeper into your legs. And then feel how the legs are giving to the upper body. So the upper body can receive that gift of strength and lengthen a little more. Okay, good. Press your legs straight. Relax your arms. Do a little shake out if you need to. First Utkatasana. Building on that now, firm the legs, hips back, thigh bones back, sit bones wide, tailbone in. Then receive in the upper body, lengthen, and stretch your arms up overhead. Recreate that action we did just standing. So imagine your hands are on the top of your head, or you can do it if you want. Pull the shoulders back and the shoulder blades away from the ears, the shoulder blades in towards the spine, and then stretch fully. One more full breath in, full exhale out, and release the hands and stand up. Good, little hula shift. Now, if you need blocks for hamstring support, please place your blocks at the top of your mat. So you have them there if you need them. If you're We're going to give a moment for people to grab blocks. If you're just standing, you can be standing in Tadasana. You can still be practicing your yoga here, even while we're waiting. That's a good time to practice yoga, actually. Okay, stand up nice and tall, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up, long, full stretch. Again, mimic that action we did earlier, shoulder blades pulling down, even as we stretch up. Then exhale and fold from the hips, Uttanasana. If your hands don't reach the floor with the legs straight, take your fingertips, take your hands onto your blocks. Now, fingertips to the shins, inhale, come halfway. Lengthen your spine, reach your heart forward, lift the shoulder blades to the back. Exhale, fold over straight, strong legs. Inhale again, lengthen just halfway. Receive. What is it you want to draw into your heart? What is it that the universe is sending to you today? Or maybe a friend. Exhale, offer it back out as you bow deeply. Inhale, lengthen your spine one more time. This time, come all the way up, reach up, stretch up. And exhale, release your arms. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, fold again, Uttanasana. From here, we're coming to standing split. So bring your weight to your left foot. Again, hands can be on blocks for this. And inhale, lift your right leg any amount. So you can lift a little bit, you can lift a lot. As you're lifting the leg, straighten it fully. Straighten the standing leg fully. And lift that lifted leg more from the inner thigh. So the hips are somewhat level as they can be. One breath and full stretch. Down through the standing leg, up through the lifted leg. Exhale, cross your right leg behind your left leg. Bring the sole of the foot to the floor, so both feet are planted. I'll give you this view so you can see here this way. So my right leg is behind my left leg, and I'm trying to straighten both legs. That front knee might bend a little bit, that's okay, but if you can straighten it, straighten it. Then draw your outer left hip back a little bit more, and let your weight drop over to the right slightly. So you're feeling the stretch down the outer hips, the backs of the legs, the outsides of the legs. And as you feel those tissues in the back of the legs opening up, just open yourself up to receive the gifts of friendship from anyone in your life who offers to you, or from the universe itself. Inhale, lift the right leg back up behind you. You don't have to lift too high. And then take a big step back to the back of your mat and drop your back knee down to the floor. If you need to pad for that back knee, take a blanket, or you can even just fold your mat over if you need a little extra padding. Good. You want a long lunge. You want your right knee back behind the hip and the front knee over the ankle. And then once again, draw from your feet into the pelvis. Feel how when you do that, there's this little lift away from the floor. There's like an internal lifting up. And that's like a receiving. You know, when we get that gift from a friend or from the universe, it lifts us up. So feel that lift as you pull your legs in towards each other. Then take your hands up to your front knee. If you're feeling wobbly and you need to keep your hands on blocks, of course, you can always do that. We're going to take this into twist pose. So you can do this upright, just taking hands, right hand to left knee, left hand to the hip. If you want to go a little deeper, you can slide your right elbow outside your left knee, and then place your left hand on top. You can press your palms together. Wherever you are, take a breath in and lengthen through the spine, and then turn and look over your left shoulder. With an inhale, release your twist. Take your hands back down to the floor. Good. Lift your back knee up off the floor. And then step forward, Uttanasana, forward bend. Make your legs strong and straight. Inhale, lengthen your spine and come all the way up, reach up. Exhale, hands into the heart. Close your eyes. Land back into your breath, back into the cycle of giving and receiving. What is it that you need to receive from your practice today? What have you received already from your practice today? What can you offer back? Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, and fold from the hips. Standing split second side. Again, hands on blocks if you need to. Bring the weight to your right foot. Lift your left leg back behind you. Legs as straight as you can, both legs, standing leg and lifted leg. And again, it's like that feeling of a hug, of an embrace. So you're embracing yourself. The universe is embracing you as you firm your legs. And then into that firmness, you expand. Exhale, cross your left leg behind your right leg. Feet to the floor. So it's pinky edges of the feet towards each other. I'll give the front view again. Maybe that's a better view for this pose. Yeah. So pinky edges of the feet. Now, left leg is straight, right leg is straight if you can. That might mean making a little more space front to back between the legs. Then draw the right hip back slightly and let the hips come a little bit left. So you're feeling that big opening along the outer edges of the legs. This is a nice IT band stretch for walkers, hikers, runners. This is a nice IT band stretch, and of course hamstrings. Okay, shift your weight back over into your right foot, lift your left leg up, and then step it way back. Drop the back knee down to the floor. And then pull in, pull from your feet into your pelvis. Receive the gift of life, the gift of friendship, and feel how it lifts you up, and then lift your hands up to that front knee. The twist can look like this, holding the knee, hand on the hip. The twist can look like this, elbow to knee, palm to palm. And we know the universe comes into being as each of us as this myriad expression of diversity for all these different relationships, because as we know, every friendship offers us something a little bit different. Every relationship offers us something a little bit different. So we find that deepest place of the relationship and then we expand into it. So it is with our poses, so it is in life. Inhale and release your twist. Lift your back knee up off the floor. And step forward, back to the top of the mat. Bow and fold. And then with a long spine, lengthen first, then inhale, press to your feet and come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Full breath in, full breath out, remembering that rhythm of giving and receiving and what you need for your practice today. Inhale, follow the breath, stretch the arms up. Exhale and fold. Okay, we're stepping the right foot back again, right knee down again. Good. Then, again, pull the legs towards each other, firming the muscles. We're going into half split pose, half mountain pose. You're gonna slide your left heel out in front of you. Your right hip is above your right knee. It's not back towards your heel, so we're not going back like this, okay? That hip stays vertical over the knee, and then the left foot comes out in front. Now again, for those of you in the tight hamstring club, having hands up on blocks, right? I only have one block here, but you could have two, right? Your hands could be up a little higher. Try to get that left leg straight. So come up as high as you need to straighten the leg. Fingertips are on the floor or on blocks, whatever is available to you. Good, now draw, spin your inner right side back, draw your outer left hip in towards the midline. And then fold, any amount more over the left. Inhale, receive breath, receive length, receive all that uplifts you from your relationships, and then bow and make the pose itself an offering to friendship, to the universe, to whatever's resonating for you today, in whatever way you can offer. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then plant the foot, your left foot back on the floor. Bend the left knee. Lift up your right knee. Big step forward, and we'll just switch the feet. So left foot, right foot forward, left foot back. Left knee down. Good. Pull the legs in towards each other. Shift the hips back. Right heel slides forward. Again, hands on blocks is nice for this one if the hamstrings are complaining. Spin the inner left thigh back, draw the outer right hip in. Take a breath, lengthen, and then fold. And then just pulse with the breath. Receive the gifts of life. Receive from the universe with each inhale and offer back with each exhale. And pulse into that deeper relationship with each breath. With your body, that relationship with your body, the relationship with the breath, with the universe itself. Inhale, shift the weight forward, bring your weight back to your right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then big step forward, Uttanasana. Grounding your feet, lengthen your spine first, and then press to your feet and come on all the way up, reach up. And exhale, hands into the heart center. Release your hands. Okay, warrior one will come from facing the top edge of the mat. So start hands on hips. And then big step back with the right foot. Now, make a little bit of space between your heels. So right to left, a little bit of space side to side. Then work to turn the hips to face the front edge of the mat. And refine that action now. So we can do that sort of haphazardly, just turning the body, but we can do it more powerfully when we work the actions of the legs. So hug skin to muscle to bone, like you're getting a hug from your best friend. Spin the inner right thigh back more. Widen it to the right. And feel how when you do that, it turns the hip forward more. Then bend into the left knee. And as you bend the left knee, draw from the kneecap to the outer hip. So you're drawing from your knee into the pelvis. Draw the hip back. Drop your tailbone down. Good. Now, let's do this one again. Hands to the top of the head. From your pelvis, lengthen down into your feet. Lengthen your legs. From your pelvis, lengthen your spine up into your hands. But keep that lifted spine. Relax your shoulders down, pull your shoulder blades back, and then stretch your arms up. And take one full breath in, full exhale out in your warrior one. Exhale, release your hands, step your feet together. Okay, second side. Left foot back. A little bit of space between the heels. Turn the hips to face front. And then work the actions of the legs. Ground the inner edges of the feet. Use that grounding to spin the inner thighs back, especially that left inner thigh so that left hip wraps around. Then as you bend the right knee into a square, draw from your knee up the thigh bone into the hip. Draw the outer hip in. Drop your tailbone down. So that action. Belly up, tailbone down. Hands to the top of your head. Offer down to the earth, down through the legs, whatever it is you have to offer today. And then offer up through the spine, feeling uplifted by all the gifts that you have of friendship in your life. Draw the shoulders back and down, and then keep them back and down, stretch your arms up. Take your gaze up. And one full breath, round of breath for full stretch. Exhale, release your hands. And step forward. Good. And do a little march. Okay. Warrior three. I'm grabbing an extra block. Hang on, I wanted two for this one. Okay, so we're going to come to warrior three now. First version we're going to do is with blocks. You decide how high you want your blocks. So we've got Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear, right? You decide how high you want your blocks just based on your balance and your hamstring length. Okay, you're going to stand back from your blocks. So see how I have them out in front of me? So step back from your blocks a little bit. We're going to work on warrior three pose. All right, stand with your feet hip distance apart and parallel. Firm your legs and affirm yourself. Offer to yourself. Receive from yourself. the gift of strength. Then from your hips, bow forward and take your fingertips to your blocks. So I had to pull mine in a little bit. You want to be up on your fingertips, but you want torso distance between the blocks and the feet. Okay, so the spine is really long. We're not in a forward bend. We're in this sort of half, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward bend. Bring your weight to your right foot and start to extend the left leg behind you. Lift it to hip height if you can. And as you lift that leg, spin the inner thigh up. And then from your pelvis, we've received those gifts into that energy center in the pelvis. Now send them out. Extend the standing leg fully and the lifted leg. Extend your spine fully. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and the shoulder blades onto the back. Good. And then exhale and release that foot down. And just come on up for a moment. Give the hamstrings a break. Okay, very good. So that's warrior 3. With a little extra support, we'll do it the full balance pose in a moment, but let's do it with the support. Okay, exhale from the hips, spine long. So I'm not rounding as I'm coming forward. I'm keeping this length of the spine, right? Fingertips to your blocks. Weight to your left foot. Send your right leg back behind. Just to hip height. Draw the legs towards each other. Draw the arms towards each other. Then expand out against that, right? Stretch the standing leg straight. Stretch the lifted leg straight. Lift your head. Draw your shoulders back. One full breath and full stretch into the pose. And then exhale, foot to the floor. And come on up with a long spine. All right, so now I'm going to suggest that you leave your blocks there. We're going to work on the balance version, but you've got your blocks there. You can just do that same version that we just did. If the balancing variation is not right for you. All right, let's start with hands on hips. Take a moment, just soften, open up, open to the gifts that come in with the breath, the gift of life, the gift of love, the gift of embodiment. We're here, we're breathing. Okay, bring your weight over to your left foot. Is that the first side? I think so. Bring the weight over to the left foot, and then just start to lift the left leg back behind you and lower the torso. If the hands need to come to blocks at any time, take them down. Or else just keep going, leaning forward, extending your spine, forward, extending back through the back leg. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can take airplane arms. That helps with the balance sometimes. You want to do airplane arms? Or you can stretch your arms full into the pose. One more breath. Full stretch. And then inhale and come on up. Well done. Very good, you guys. Really good. Second side. Standing on your left foot. No, stand on the other foot. I've gotten myself turned around. Just do your other side, okay? Hands on your hips. Lengthen your spine. Start to lift the other leg back behind. Both legs straight. Both legs straight. See if you can work to lower the torso so your body is in that T position. Arms in whatever position you did the first side, do that again for this last breath and your last full stretch, offering blessings and love out through every cell through the form of the pose. Inhale, come on up, and release your hands. Okay, very good, you guys, really nice. All right, keep your blocks, step up, so now you're standing between your blocks, so feet are between the blocks. And again, if you want to adjust the height, you can always do that. Okay, first side, right foot back, Uttanasana. So a little bit shorter than what we did for warrior 2. Again, a little bit of space between the feet, right to left, this way, helps with the balance, okay? Then work to level the hips again. Drawing up from the feet into the pelvis. Then take the hands behind the back and hold opposite elbows. Reverse prayer is always an option if you want to take reverse prayer. That looks like this, right? If your shoulders are, if that's available to you, you can do that, or just hold the elbows. Good, take a big breath in here. And as you draw up from your feet and up through your heart, feel how everything just lifts up. Just like a good friend, lifts you up. Exhale now, extend out. Reach the heart forward and fold over that front leg. Now, if you're feeling wobbly, keep your head up and your gaze lifted. Maybe just come halfway, right? Keep pulling the legs in towards each other. Take one more breath, and then exhale and take your hands to your blocks and fold in a little bit deeper. Inhale, bend your front knee. Step forward and come on all the way up. Okay, good. Second side now, left foot back. Again, that little bit of space is helpful for wobbliness. Turn the hips to face the front edge of the mat. Spin the inner left thigh back, right hip drawing in, and then hands behind the back, hold opposite elbows. Now, if this is just too much, if the balance is too much here, you'll just take your hands to the blocks, right? You can skip this stage. All right, take a breath in, lengthen your spine, and then exhale and extend. Extend the heart forward. Reach the heart long. You can stay halfway, or you can fold all the way and head towards the knee if you're feeling balanced and steady. Exhale, release your hands to your blocks. Fold over the front leg. Keep remembering that action we did at the beginning, drawing the shoulder blades onto the back and the shoulders away from the ears, even as the neck extends. Inhale and step forward, and come on all the way up. Okay, one more standing pose. Yeah, we're good for time. Same thing, we're going to take this into easy Parivrtta rotated triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana. So you're going to step your right foot back. Same stance we were just in. We start in that Parsvottanasana stance. So feet a little bit of distance between the feet, hips turning to face the front edge of your mat. Take your left hand on your left hip, reach your right arm up. Good. So draw in first, receive first. Feel how that lifts you up. And you can extend now down through the legs and out through the arm as you reach forward. So reach forward to come to extend out over the leg. Reach with that right arm. Then take your right hand down to the block on the right side. Turn and look up over your left shoulder. Stretch your left arm towards the sky. If you've got your balance, if your shoulder is cooperating today, you can stretch that arm up, or else just keep the hand on the hip. And then really press from your pelvis down into your feet, from your pelvis long to the spine, and turn more deeply. Good, you guys. You can release your left hand down to the block or the floor, and then step forward with the right foot, and come on up. Good. So it's a modified Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle. Well done. Second side, left foot back. Turn the hips to face towards the front edge of the mat. Inhale, stretch up through the left arm. Pull the legs in towards each other. And then reach forward. Reach long. Get a lot of length from the hips to the armpits. Then left hand comes down to the block or the floor. If you can reach the floor, go to the floor. Turn and look up over the right shoulder. Turn the ribs, the shoulders, the belly. And then if you want, stretch that right arm up. Hand can stay on the hip if you're working with a shoulder thing. Hand can stay on the hip, or can even reach out to the side. That works too. One more breath to turn the torso. And then exhale, release the right hand down. And step forward to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. And exhale, release your arms. Okay, let's come on to our backs now. So you can set your blocks and things to the side and come lay down onto your back. All right. On your back, pull your knees into your chest. Yeah, thanks for moving the camera so I can see you. That's helpful. Good. Pull the knees in, maybe do a little rocking, circling. Okay. Keep your right knee pulled into your chest. Stretch your left leg out straight. Good. Pull the knee in close to the belly. Pull it down firm, and then really extend through the left leg. Okay, we're gonna turn this into a thigh stretch. I'm gonna give you the back view. So I'm gonna slide my right hand to hold my right ankle, And then I'm gonna roll onto my left side. And bend your left knee for balance and roll to the left side. And then just slide the leg behind. So I'm holding my ankle and I'm hugging my heel in and pressing the knee back a little bit. And then pressing my right shoulder back. My head is on my left arm. So I'm getting a nice thigh stretch for my right leg. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, you can push the foot into the hand. Maybe like take a little half back bend here. Or you can stay in the thigh stretch. Take one more breath. And then slide your hand back to your right knee. Roll back to your back and pull the right knee in again. Good. Now, slide your hands behind your right thigh and press your right leg straight. And then let's do a little bending, pointing and flexing. So keeping your leg as straight as you can, point and flex your foot a few times. Inhale, pull the toes back. Exhale, point into the back. All right, good. And then release that leg and switch. Pull your left knee in. Stretch your right leg straight. Hug the knee in nice and close. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck is relaxed. Head relaxed. Okay, to take this into the thigh stretch, take your left hand to your left ankle. Roll to your right side and rest your head onto your arm. Your right knee can bend for balance. And then just pull the heel in behind you. So you're feeling the stretch in the front of your left thigh. Yeah, your head can be propped up high, it can be resting down low. Hug the heel in. Press your knee back behind you a little bit. Drag your left shoulder blade onto your back a little bit. If you're feeling pinchy in your low back, sweep your tailbone forward towards your pubic bone. Tone your belly and your low belly and your pelvic floor. Okay, slide the hand back to the knee, roll back to your back, stretch the left leg out, right leg out straight. Then stretch the left leg, holding behind the thigh, then do a few point and flex. Okay, good. And then release that foot to the floor. Bend both knees. Take both feet onto the floor, hip distance apart. Preparing for bridge pose. Bend up your elbows to press your arms down and snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. And then receive. Draw from your feet up your legs. Draw into the center of your being. Press the arms down, draw the shoulder blades in towards the center. Then slowly, keeping your groin soft without squeezing your bottom, lift your hips. And bring your hands underneath you and interlace your fingers together. Keep pressing the backs of the arms down, the shoulders down, the head down. And then expand up through the chest, up and over the knees, down into the feet. Okay, now listen closely. Keep your hands clasped underneath you and lower your hips onto your arms. If that feels too intense, you can, of course, skip this pose. But I like this as a little bit of an arm stretch. It sort of massages out the forearms and the upper arms and really opens up the shoulders. So if you're comfortable, let your hips rest onto your forearms. Keep your neck nice and relaxed. And then slowly inhale, lift your hips back up. Release your arms by your side and lower your hips down. Good. Do a couple windshield wipers here. Okay, now I'm going to give some options. If you're feeling like you need a little bit more energy in your practice today, you can just do another bridge pose. Okay, same thing we just did. If you're feeling like you need a little bit more restorative, then you can come into a supported bridge. Okay, hips onto the block, pelvis onto the block. And then you can stay here, very restful. If you want a little more, if you want an inversion practice today, then legs straight, hips stay on the block, legs up, okay? So yogi's choice, you can do a bridge, you can do a supported bridge, you can do a supported shoulder stand. Make it your practice. How can you befriend yourself in this moment in your practice? What does it take to do that? I love these moments at the end of practice or during practice where we give options and I see people just really listening to themselves, really working to be in that deep friendship with your body, with your heart. That's really what this practice is and what makes it so profound, right? We were having a little discussion at the beginning before class today, and that was the discussion, right? That's what makes this different than anything else we do. But then when you're able to do that, when you're able to really befriend yourself in your practice, befriend your body, befriend your heart, then hopefully it stays with you. And the yoga is happening all the time. And you bring that awareness, that friendship, that love, whatever you want to call it, that connection to everything that you're doing, your work, your job, your relationships with others. I'm going to offer one last pose here. If your hip, well, you can do it either way, but stretching the legs straight. So if your hips are on the block, extend your legs towards the front edge of the mat. If that bothers your low back, you could do one leg at a time, or of course you can just keep your knees bent and skip it. But as you do that, spin your inner thighs down towards the floor. So your toes should be pointing more upright. So you're staying really broad. Yeah, that's good, in the back of the pelvis. And you could do it with a engage your abdominals and your pelvic floor, and then bend your knees and bring your feet back to the floor. And feel how you can do that without putting pressure into your low back. Yeah? Okay, good. Press your feet now into the mat. So feet back onto the floor. I think I was frozen. Do you guys hear me? Yeah, so you can release back, slide the block to the side. Yeah, sorry, I think I froze there for a moment. You guys were frozen. Good. All right, and then take any last twisting pose to release the spine. So you can drop the feet wide into a wide windshield wiper, or you can pull your knees to the chest and do a deeper twist with the knees up towards the armpit. Take a twist to release after the back bend. Come to the other side if you haven't done that yet. Find happy baby, holding the feet. Try to keep your pelvis on the floor. So the hips want to rock up off the floor when you do this, but if you keep your hips on the floor, you get a deeper opening into the hip. So you're spinning your sit bones down towards the floor as you pull your knees towards your armpits. Relax your shoulders, your neck. And now begin to stretch yourself out into Shavasana. Yes, take any support that you need in the form of clothing or blankets or props. Take your arms by your sides. And then as you let your feet drop open to the sides, the pinky edges of the feet drop to the sides, and as you turn your palms up, these are gestures of receptivity, of opening up to receive. So as your body begins to open up, as you relax and soften everything that you can relax and soften, just open up to receive. The universe is always in friendship with us. That's why we're here. That's why we came into being. And Shavasana is the opportunity to just receive those gifts, the gift of just being, of life itself. And the more we soften, and the more we make space inside by letting go, the more we can receive those gifts. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Stretch and move in any way that feels good to you. Draw your knees into your chest and hug yourself as you would hug your beloved or your best friend, if you were allowed to see your best friend right now. And then roll over onto your right side. And slowly come on up to seated. Many friendships, relationships in our lives that offer us many gifts. So as you move into the rest of your day, may you appreciate and feel grateful for the gifts of those friendships and notice the ways that you can participate fully by also offering back. But also maybe stay connected to this highest relationship as well. The universe is always our deepest, closest friend. And although it feels like a foreign and esoteric concept, it's as close to us as our own breath. So be grateful for the breath and those gifts of life that come from the universe as well. Let's bring our hands together at our hearts. And let's end the practice with an Om, taking a deep breath. Namaste. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here, for being part of the practice today.